So finally, we go to the last but not least startup for today, which is Vitalk Health, and his founder Michel from Brazil. Please, you're welcome.
Hi, everyone. Let me just share my screen over here. Last one of the day, so this is,
Yeah.
you guys can take a deep breath, relax a little bit. Can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Great,
Yes.
fantastic. Let me just start my timer here. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Michael Caps from Brazil, representing Vitalk. Now, Brazil is living through a mental health epidemic. They say that about 20% of the population is suffering from some kind of mental illness, and it's only been exacerbated, right, with COVID. It could be your coworker that's suffering from anxiety. It could be your daughter that's suffering from depression. The problem is, though, therapy is just for the rich. 4 sessions of therapy are half a minimum wage in Brazil. Just doesn't make sense. And why? Well, it's inefficient, right? Therapists are still using paper and pen. They're not using really any data, just relying on their own experience. And they can only really see one patient per hour. So what Vitalk does is we apply AI and automation to make therapy more efficient and try to drop that price. So how does it work? A chatbot will do a pre-diagnosis based on clinical instruments. It'll match a user with the correct therapist, and the therapist then can prescribe dozens and hundreds of exercises, digital exercises led by a chatbot for the patient to do on their own time. And the therapist can then track symptoms and progress remotely. When instead of the therapist using their own experience, their clinical decision is made based on the therapy of thousands of other therapists. So we're actually using data to make those decisions more effective. So what's the result? Instead of spending an hour per patient per therapist per patient, a therapist actually only needs to spend 15 minutes per week. As a result, a therapist can actually treat 4 patients in the same amount of time as before, and the price can fall upwards of 5 times while still maintaining a 50% margin. Patients love the app. They spend on average 3 hours on our app per month, and the retention is actually much higher than even in traditional therapy or other digital health apps. We've even published a study in Frontiers which shows that our treatment protocol, this hybrid digital therapy, is just as effective as a traditional in-person or teletherapy. As more patients use our software, our bots and algorithms improve. As a result, the therapists become more effective, the margins improve, the price falls, and we get even more patients. And as we can enrich our data because we work a lot with the public sector and internationally funded projects to help vulnerable populations and get access to more and more data, which helps give an advantage to us. We currently package the solution as an end-to-end platform for employers and insurance. They pay about $1 or $2 fee per employee per month. In the last 12 months since launching, these are some of the clients that we were able to acquire. Our MRR has grown significantly, and we did $1 million in revenues last year. My name is Michael Caps. I'm a Fortune 40 under 40 healthcare entrepreneur. This is our exceptional team. We're 37 people, going to 45 this month. 70% of our leadership is female, and we're now raising our Series A. So let's make mental health affordable. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you a lot. So let's go to our expert board, please.
Thank you for presenting. This is a really interesting platform. I'm interested to learn a little bit more in terms of how many downloads you have to date, how many active users. Obviously, you gave us the revenue, so maybe you could talk to us a little bit about some of your projections.
Yeah, of course. No, good question. So we have a free app, which is a way for us to actually get data. That's been downloaded almost 200,000 times, and that's sort of where we're able to get some of the data. Though we actually only monetize on a smaller portion of patients. Those would be the ones that employers would pay for. They pay per member per month. So that's around 50,000 that are monetized. Of those, a smaller percentage are active users. So about, depending on the client, but it ranges between 20 and 30% across all of our digital tools. But that's enough within an employer context for it to be a significant tool that they use and a significant tool that insurers reimburse us for as well.
Thank you, Keith. Thank you for Keith's comments. Same as Keith, I really enjoyed your presentation. Very concise, very clear, to the point. Just a quick question, Michael, maybe can you share with us your background? Why you solve, what is your background? Have you have issues, or your family have issues as such before? Why are you solving the problem, and how, why are you doing this? Thank you.
So, no, it's a very good question. I'm actually Canadian. I was born in Russia, grew up in Canada. During Harvard, I had a little bit of a mental health crisis, and I moved to Brazil and became a cowboy, cattle rancher for 5 months. Learned Portuguese, loved the language, and after graduating and being a management consultant in the Valley, which I didn't like, I moved here in Brazil to try to tackle these issues around public health. And the company was around for some time. We worked a lot in general public health and primary care, but we began to realize in the last 2-3 years that mental health is really the underlying issue behind chronic diseases, maternal health, and a bunch of other issues. And so that's sort of the idea where Vitalk was formed. And then I have to bring in actual clinical experts because I don't have the clinical background to make this a reality. So that's short biography of the last 5 years. Yeah.
Michael, congratulations, fantastic idea. So how are dealing with the regulation agencies? I think that there's a ethical information that we're having from the patients, and also the new LGPD policy, the data protection.
Yeah. Brazil has recently started allowing telemedicine. Teletherapy was actually allowed for a long time. So we are registered with the CRP, which is the Regional Council for Psychologists. We follow the protocols. We make sure we're actually quite close to them, and even Code develop some solutions. In fact, some of the studies that we've published have been with USP and these very important universities. And our goal actually in the future isn't just to be a solution for corporate. Actually, we want to launch Brazil's first digital therapeutic. This is common in the United States, where the FDA approves apps to handle sleep disorders, opioid, and other kind of things. There's already a precedent in Brazil, and that's something that we want to do in Brazil and Latin America, and potentially the developing world as well, where mental health is still really an exclusive kind of service.
Congratulations, thank you.
Yeah.
Your application, Vital, has any type of limitation in terms of language?
So currently the app is in Portuguese, though due to clients that have requested our solution outside of Brazil, in 3 months it'll be available in Spanish as well. We've had some multinational clients like Electrolux or Valley that have requested it in Mexico, and we also are launching an English version in 3 or 4 months due to a grant that we received from the US government, from USAID. They want to use it in sub-Saharan Africa, so we said, well, why not? We'll translate it, and then eventually we could explore these cross-border opportunities. However, that's not our focus for this Series A. This Series A is much more about consolidating within the Brazilian market, and then for the Series B, we see potential opportunities in the region.
Okay, thank you.